Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this delicious, sumptuous, scrumptious looking moimoi. This is a Nigerian dish. It's made from beans and peppers and onions and anything at all. Not anything though. Just stay with me and I'll show you how I made this bean cake, aka moimoi. So because I'm going to add eggs to this dish, I started with boiling my eggs, and then when I had to prepare my beans, you have to soak the beans for a few hours. If you want to do it overnight, that's cool, but I did mine with warm water or even hot water, so it depends on how the kind of beans you're using and how quick it can peel off the skin. And we're going to be using peppers and onions for this recipe. I ended up not using all of the pepper because I noticed that I had more pepper than I had beans, so I didn't use all of that. So you start with blending. Most people will just pour in the beans first or mix the beans and all of that, but I started putting the peppers first, but I ended up pouring the beans afterwards. But this is how I started off, putting the pepper, and you have to wash it and put it in the blender to blend it. I used 2 whole onions because I wanted it. I'm not putting all of the condiments and everything that other people use, so I know that onions is a good let's say spice. I don't know, it's really good, makes the food taste better. So I used 2 whole bulbs of onions for a taste because I really wanted it to taste really nice. I didn't plan to use fish or meat or any fancy stuff. It was just going to be eggs for me, so I needed to put more onion than necessary. Most people just use 1, but I needed to use 2. And the reason I'm dicing the pepper is so that I don't want to put the whole thing into the blender like that. I just wanted it to blend easily, more finer, I guess. Then that's the reason for cutting the pepper into shape so that I can blend it easily. So yes, so at this point I went ahead to start putting in my beans inside of the blender. I noticed I had more beans than I actually needed, so I didn't end up blending all of these beans that you can see in here. I didn't need all of this, so I didn't use all of it. But yeah, put the beans in there. Usually, like I said earlier on, you put the beans first, so sort of put a mix of all of it in at once. But I put my pepper and my onions first, and then I say added the beans on top of it. So you can see I have more pepper and onion than the beans. I later on added the remaining onion, but the remaining pepper I just put it back in the fridge. I didn't use all of that pepper. So yeah, you blend it to like smoothie kind of texture. You need it to be fine like that. I didn't want any crumbs or any lumps. I just wanted it to be smooth, so I used the smoothie function to blend it. ended up with a smooth paste, and this is what I had initially from the first blend, because I had to go back in there and add more beans and onion and blend it without any more pepper, because as you can see it was looking way too red because of all the peppers inside. So I went ahead to put the rest of the beans in there, and I just wanted to mix it up, so that it's balanced. So I put it in there and I mixed it together, like I turned it all the way in and out, mixed it together, so it's a fine paste. It's balanced. There's no too much pepper or no pepper at all. It's just a balanced paste of beans. So I'm gonna add some crayfish, grounded of course, and I'm just going to go ahead and add a few spoons of this into the mix. Like I said, I'm not adding anything fancy. I'm not really a big fan of fish, so I didn't plan on putting any fish into this, and so I just went with the crayfish. A little salt to taste, and a little bouillon cube, but I had this, so I used it. I did a little bit of it and I mixed it together, so it's like all over. Everything has to taste the same. So I mixed it all together, making sure that there's no part left unturned. I mixed it all together and mix. Went ahead and I added a little bit more salt, because after tasting it, it wasn't to my taste, and so I added a little bit more salt to taste, because you can actually taste this as it is, just to get like what it tastes like, because this is just like cooking beans. It gets really spicy really quickly, so you just need to make sure it balances out. Have a taste of it to make sure it's balanced, and when you're satisfied, go with it. I went on to add a little bit of olive oil in this, because olive oil is healthy, and I remember from when my mom used to make this, she would add a little bit of vegetable oil in it. I didn't want to add vegetable oil, but no, olive oil is healthy, and I just wanted to do that as well. So I added a little bit of olive oil to the mix, and I mixed it all together properly. And so I went ahead to put the paste inside the plate or the bowl I needed to use. I didn't have so many options. I just had I had the bowl. I wrapped up a few foil paper. I just didn't have like the right cups to use to make this moimoi, so I just used what I had. Improvise. You can do it. And now I introduced the eggs from earlier on that I boiled, and I had to cut them in half and put it in the paste like so. Yeah. So I already have something laid at the base of the pot, and put a little bit of water in there. So I didn't really know how this particular pot would go. I didn't want it to burn so quickly, so that's why I had to put the paper plate in there, and so it doesn't burn anything really quickly. So I folded up this foil paper. I wanted to show you guys how I folded it up, but at this point I was really tired, because I just went on to start doing this whole process in the morning without eating, and at this point I was already feeling really weak and tired and hungry, and so I just did a few of it. I got tired and I just went back to start doing my thing. So because when I start doing something, I prefer to finish it up before actually doing anything more. So I finished this up and ended up waiting for this to get done so I could eat, because I ended up having this for my meal for the day. So yeah, you can actually use the foil paper, you can use this plate or bowl that you can use to store things in the refrigerator, or you can use this special, there's a special plate that they use for moimoi, you know. But yeah, this was my thing. This was what I used. This was it. This is what I used. Foil paper, a few plates. So I went on and I put it in the pot and covered it up to cook, you know. And then I went on to turn on the gas cooker and left it to boil. This took like over an hour. It took over an hour to cook, and I kept coming back to check on it to make sure that you know, there's still water in the pot because it was drying up pretty quickly. And at the end we had this already cooked delicious bean cake, aka moimoi. Yeah, so this was ready, and I was really hungry at this point, so I just went ahead to put it out in a plate, and this is how it looks like. What do you think? I think it's really, I don't know, it looks really beautiful, you know, and it tasted really good as well. But you have to be really careful with your spices, the pepper, the you know, every other thing, because you have to be in moderation. But yeah, it tasted really nice, and that's it. This is it. This is how you make this Nigerian meal. I really enjoyed this food, and I hope when you try it too, you know, you have good reviews about this food. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.